Hello everyone, Vanguard of Valor here, and welcome back to Sunless Sea. At the moment, we have found ourselves where we wanted to be, with the things that we wanted to have, but surprisingly enough, we can't do what we wanted to do. It seems as though without the quality that something awaits us, at port we're unable to talk with the heart metal smith that we came here to investigate. So, what I'm doing right now is just cruising around nearby slightly, trying to see if we can get something to await us at port so we can return to Station 3 and see what we've earned. After making all these trips, I'm a little bit put out that we can't already acquire our reward, so we're going to sail around a little bit until we can. Hopefully that won't take too long, because I'd rather not waste too much time here, but there we go. Nice and easy. So, let us investigate. There we go. Now we can do it. So we'll take a visit to the Smith's Emporium, I suppose. We have all the things. Let's ask the smith to construct an assembly housing for the cannoneer's weapon. It does take a searing enigma, which is a fairly rare piece of knowledge, 3 devil bone dice, which are easy enough to acquire, and the awakened seal of the red science, which we had to acquire already. Let's see. Oh yes, and a lamentable relic, of course. Let us cash this in and see what we acquire. A shining horror. For 7 days the smith works. Only the cannoneer is permitted within. Our sailors place bets on whether they'll blow themselves up, and whether the explosion will eradicate Station 3 as well. There are no explosions. At last, the cannoneer opens the smithy door, grinning, a tired but dazzling grin. He gestures to the seal. The armature that now constrains it is meshed with silvery heart metal. The glyphs flicker frantically, like trapped insects. The weapon emits a constant, low, barely audible growl. The air in the room is stifling hot. "Behold," the cannoneer says, "the Memento Mori." The grin dissipates. "It's finished. I'm not sure what to do now." We can mount the Memento Mori on our ship, or sell it to one of the warlike Z nations. Some will give us better prices than others. We may tilt the balance of power on the Z. There we go. We've lost 3 devil bone dice. We've lost 1 searing enigma. We've lost 1 lamentable relic. The cannoneer has completed his masterwork. We've lost 1 awakened seal of the red science, and we have 1 Memento Mori. Well then. What is this thing? That is quite the weapon. Wow. So, in some respects it is similar to the Majesty we're using already, but in others it is vastly superior. This weapon, simply for equipping it, gives us 6 iron and 3 mirrors, like the incomplete one in the bridge did, except now it doesn't take up that slot. It's a forward weapon that does 22 hull damage and 32 life damage, as opposed to 22 and 22, so it's much better against monsters. It does 4 crew damage instead of 2, so it's much better against manned ships. It has the exact same warm-up time and the same stagger time, so it's just, in all ways, vastly superior to our Majesty. And we're going to use this instead. Oh, yes we are. The Memento Mori is armed and ready. Omnia mors perimit e nulli miseretur. Miseretur? I don't know what that means. But I think the first thing is everything dies. I don't know about the rest. That is quite the weapon we've acquired. Especially because the Majesty is already a reasonably powerful front weapon. This is a beast of a front weapon. And now we have a bridge space open again as well to put something else in. Well, well, well. Let's take a moment here to chat with the irrepressible cannoneer. Let's speak to him again. All he'll do now is allow us to increase our iron. Interesting. He has nothing else to talk about. The irrepressible cannoneer. I wonder if he always offered us 8 iron. I imagine he did. It's hard to say, though. Interesting. Well, we have a variety of things to do still, but that was a fairly successful acquisition there. The Memento Mori is a very nice weapon to add to our arsenal. Alright then. While we're here, can we investigate anything else? Yes, we can. There's a heart metal suit here as well. I don't know what that's all about. Interesting. I think we have to talk about him a little bit more. Talk to him, rather, a little bit more. But for now, let's observe the latest autopsies and see who it is. It's a fashionable lady. Her gown scoops low, and there is a lump at her cleavage as large as a golf ball. The austere acolyte works quickly this time, and her songs, of chessmen toasting by the fire, of a seedling growing out of a chocolate liqueur, sound genuinely cheerful. "I'd heard of this case before she even reached us," the acolyte tells us afterwards. "She liked to faint on sofas and sip mysterious silver medicines and tell everyone she was suffering from some dread disease. The only secret she had was that she wasn't as interesting as she wanted everyone to think." Well, we've gained a single fragment, and we've earned more of the acolyte's favor. This is interesting, though. Summons to the low building. The acolyte sends us a message requesting assistance with a difficult autopsy. Let's find out what she wants. The message emphasizes silence and discretion. A locked coffin. The coffin is banded with iron and triple locked. "Leave for the chief," it's labeled. The austere acolyte is standing over it with a crowbar and a fixed expression. Well then. She breaks the lock and pries off the lid. The body inside is her own. Or rather, it has her nose, her cheekbones, her long fingers. Its hair is longer, and something about its eyes makes it appear more dissolute. But it is, or at least it could be, her twin. "Her death was my fault," says the acolyte bleakly. "So of course she's come back to me." So, we can encourage her not to do it. We have her favor fairly high, or we can help her out. I'm not sure what we want to do, though. I think, though, that we have to help her with this. We've been working with her for a long time now to get her to be comfortable with us, and I think it would be very unreasonable of us to not help her now. So I think we'll help her. It won't be easy, but we'll do it. The unbound knot. The growth is not in such a difficult place that she has any difficulty finding it, but the acolyte works slowly and grimly. She talks angrily to the corpse. She talks to it about their childhood together. She calls it sister. She resents it for dying, considers it careless, but also blames herself. The metal ball is lumpy and hard under the breastbone. When the acolyte gets to the center, she pushes the ball towards you. As an afterthought, she lets us borrow her goggles as well. The secret, when we can focus enough to make it out, is this. The austere acolyte's twin was not her twin, not her sister at all. The acolyte never had a sister. This being took up wearing a mirror of her face early in her childhood. It was drawn by her early promise, by the likelihood of her success. Well then. What do we do here? Do we tell her the truth, and tell her that it wasn't a sister at all? Or do we invent a comforting lie? How lonely she would be to learn that her childhood's companion was not her sister at all. I think at this stage, I'm not comfortable with lying to her. She has told us many truths, and I think it's only fair for us to tell her a truth back. Yeah. We'll tell her the truth. It's not what she expected. The news does not comfort her. When she hears it, she takes the scalpel back up and continues the autopsy, dismantling the corpse down to the small organs. She won't talk. She won't sing. The pellet of dark matter sits on its tray. Well, it looks as though that was not the truth she wanted to hear. We have one more, though. You encounter the Acolyte one more time. We could apologize, which we actually can't do, if you have no Acolyte's favor. I bet you if you lied to her and failed, you'd need to do this. We can ask after her situation, or we can offer her real consolation. Offer her the consolation of friendship. I mean, this seems like the best option. Let's see. Long into the night. She visits us aboard ship, and we talk for long hours, lit only by the jar of phosphorescent beetles. Her stories cover many incidents, past and present, many famous people she attended while she was still a practicing doctor. Certain details of Rubberman anatomy she found astonishing. We and she will never speak like this again. We are leaving, and she does not expect to be on the island by the time we might return. That's what makes it so easy to talk, and so comforting. We've gained 2 hearts, we have a dream of red, and we've gained a secret. I don't know what this is. A chapter of the Crimson Book, that notorious compilation of love stories long sought by the masters of the Bazaar. Interesting. It looks like our time of chatting with the Acolyte is over. She's moving on now, it would seem. But we did acquire a dream of red. Whatever that may be used for. This cannot be sold in London, of course. Interesting. Well. Well. I think it's about time we set sail again. And went looking for fresh adventures. Perhaps, though, the time would be better spent returning to London for now, and going off and seeking adventures in the farther southerly, easterly areas, once we have a fresh supply of gear. Setting out now seems like it would be a fairly silly thing to do. Ill-equipped as we currently are. I'd love to go and test the Memento Mori, though. That definitely seems like an interesting proposition. But first, we'll return back home. And then we'll set out for war. Alrighty. Back in London we are. Low on fuel. Fine as far as supplies go, though. And I think we have a number of things to sell here, should we wish to. Stygian ivory, for one. I don't know if we're going to need any for the relevant... for the foreseeable future, rather. And we'll probably acquire more out at Z. If we're planning on fighting, after all. We've returned to London. We'll collect some messages from the Harbour Master. We have another free evening. The Alarming Scholar has invited us to call on them at the university. Something has changed underneath, and someone wants to sign on. Interesting. Well, let's see what the Alarming Scholar wants. I wasn't expecting anything like this. Yes. Another little present from the Scholar. You've been so very helpful. I wanted to give you something for your next voyage. I bottled it myself. What is it? 2 supplies. Fair enough. It smells pickled, chemical, salty. Once it might have been eel flesh, but the Scholar assures us it has vital and nutritional virtues. We'll save it for an emergency, perhaps. 2 supplies are still 2 supplies, though. Apocyan. That's the color of the blue scintillac that we can give to our good friend up north in Venderbite. For now, though, I think our time here with the Alarming Scholar is through. Let's investigate quickly London itself, and see who is our new recruit. Who waits our attention? Just a Zailor. We have no space, so perhaps not. In our lodgings, we can take some time with our family and read the morning paper, where we got another free supply and lost a terror. Very nice. In our time with our family, we'll happily tell tales of far-off lands again, because we still have 17 of these, compared with everything else, which we have much, much less of. So tell tales of far-off lands. Their Z fever is up to 20. I think if we hit 25, they will decide to leave to sea, and that will ensure that, if anything happens to us, our young one will be able to take up our mantle. And our terror is down to 11, which is good, because I have a feeling that what we're going to go find will increase it somewhat. While we're here, though, we'll take a look at the things we can sell, because we have a weapon to sell, for one thing. We have the Majesty to get rid of. We no longer can fit it on our ship, so we'll sell it instead and acquire the 200 Echoes. We've also got some Stygian Ivory, only for 28. I thought it said it sold for more than that here, but I guess I'm wrong. I'm certainly confused, if nothing else. Certainly confused. But, with that said, we have 3 strange catches. We have the Parabola Linen. I think I will sell the Parabola Linen. As much as it would be nice to hold on to, for the chance that we get the opportunity to deliver it to a certain officer who we haven't seen recently, I think, at the moment, it's better off to just sell the thing. And the Stygian Ivory as well. We may wind up needing it and regret selling it, but I think for now, just getting it out of our hold is more valuable. Before we do anything else, though, we'll head to the Dark Spectacled Admiral and deliver our information. We'll submit our port reports here. Mount Palmerston, Godfall, Venderbite, Wither, Abbey Rock, the Chapel of Lights, Avid Horizon, Polythreme, Frostfound, and Codex. There we go. That's our fuel problems dealt with, and we've made a little profit as well, which is always nice. Beyond that, of course, we have more shopping to do to acquire more resources to make our trip so far south. We'll definitely need a lot of fuel to make the journey, because going down south doesn't have Mount Palmerston there to replenish our supplies. I may want to buy some Foxfire candles if I have space, though, because they tend to prove very useful down there. Our supplies may run low as well, too, which would not be great, but I do have a large number of Echoes to buy things at an emergency cost. Is there anything else we want to pick up before we leave? I may want to do some conversations before we leave, in fact. Talk to Maybe's daughter, the genial magician. We could afford to buy food just to talk now. Wonder who would want to tell us anything important. Let's talk to Maybe's daughter, because we haven't spoken to her at all yet. Ah, interesting. She likes having strange catches with her dinners. Well, we have one, so that can be done. Let's invite her to dine with us. A knowing smile. I've heard about you. You like to invite your officers to dinner, learn their secrets. Well, you don't need to dig far to find my secret. I wanted to talk to you about it, actually. I've never met my mother. I know my father. I'm a countess on his side, actually. I'd like to find her. She's somewhere out at Z, if only. Really? You'd help me? That's too kind, if you insist. Here, it so happens I made a list earlier tonight. Her mother will be found in one of these places. Wither, the Isle of Cats, Irem, the Chelinet, Con's Shadow, Port Carnelian, or the surface port of Naples. We've gained a secret. Apparently, we've agreed to find the mother of Maybe's daughter. We've lost a supply. She could be an Irem as well. We've lost a strange catch. All right, well, we'll go find her, perhaps. Perhaps. Any other officers we need to have a discussion with? We don't have the Muter Salt for you. We don't have the Muter Salt for you either. Scarred's sister we've already talked to. So I think delivering her to Naples, or, not Naples. I forget what the city we went to is, but the city we went to deliver her there. The genial magician. Have we spoken to you before? Yes, we have. In order to help him out, we need a live specimen, 2 bales of parabola linen, and 5 firkins of prisoner's honey. Well, interesting. That could be useful, but unfortunately we need a couple supplies we haven't actually even seen before, live specimens in particular. The rest is fine, but interesting. For now, he's not going to be too useful to us. Anybody else we want to discuss with? The sigil-ridden navigator, we know what he needs. We need 2 live specimens to help him, or we can eat our crew. The irrepressible cannoneer has already been helped out. He's given us what we need. The determined doctor has already gone through his missions as well. And the Presbyterian adventuress, I don't think we have the coffee we need to speak with her again. For her sorbet and arm wrestling request. Alright, well that's fine. That's fine. While we're here, we'll quickly acquire a couple resources. We will grab ourselves... I could buy coffee here, if I want to just talk to her. Perhaps. Why not? We'll do it this one time. We'll buy a sack of coffee beans, and we'll talk with our gunnery officer, the Presbyterian adventuress. It's a very chancy challenge with only 41% chance of success, but let's give it a try and see if we can't beat her. We're strong, but she's stronger. She grins and says, "I'll be old soon, but not yet." We spend a pleasant evening reminiscing and swapping tales. We learn a little about the Elder Continent, its sleeping forest, speaking tigers, mountain pilgrims. We've lost a supply, we've lost 1 tailor, we've failed in our challenge, we've lost our sack of coffee beans, but we've learned a bit better about her. Does she have anything else to tell us now that we know her a little bit better? Invite her to dine with us a 3rd time. One day I'll be tired of coffee sorbet, she smiles. Not today. Well, let's buy another coffee. We have plenty of money to talk to her with, and it might be very interesting to know what she wants after all this time. We can afford to spend a little bit of money to know who we're working with. We invite her to dine with us a 3rd time. Ooh, something happened. I think it was our secret dinged up. A troubled evening. She's obviously distracted. Halfway through her dessert, she loses the thread of the conversation, snaps her spoon in half, apologizes, flings the spoon across the room, apologizes again, and pushes the rest of the sorbet away. "Sorry," she growls. "I can't concentrate. You know why? I'm getting old. My bloody father. You know what the College of Mortality is? Our very own elected hell. They choose our king. They tell us when to die. He cheated them. So now I'm getting old." She drains her glass. "Old. Too old. I'll see you in the morning." She rises to her feet with uncharacteristic clumsiness and stumbles out, but not before we've seen the tears in her eyes. We've gained 100 fragments, a memory of distant shores. We've gained a supply. We've lost our coffee. And we've learned about the Presbyterian adventuress a bit more. A boarding action? Wow. That's a thing. A sudden boil of bodies at the rail. While our sailors were sighing over the sights of London, armed foreigners were slipping up the side of the ship. They wear tight-fitting dark uniforms and carry complicated multiplicities of blades. The Presbyterian adventuress curses apologetically. "Out of time," she says. We can give her up. Assassins from the college. "Yes, they're here for me. No, I didn't mention it. Yes, you're right to be cross. If you want to give me up, that's fair." She offers us her pistol. I'd listen to her," one of the assassins adds in perfect English. "This is a sacred duty. We'll pay you a sacred price." What's a gang of assassins between friends? Have at them. I think we're going to lose this, but we're going to try and fight to preserve her, even if it does wind up ending very poorly. We gotta try. Blood on the deck. The assassins fight fiercely and in near silence. Our crew makes up for it with yells and shots, and the adventuress outdoes them all with whoops of fierce delight. At last we drive the assassins back over the side. They take to their coracles and wisp into the night while we check our wounded and our dead. "All right," the adventuress says, lowering her blade. "All right. Oh, and thanks," she adds, almost as an afterthought. A sailor glowers at her over the body of his comrade. We've gained an iron. We failed the challenge. We lost 4 crew. But we helped the Presbyterian adventuress survive an attack by her assassins. That was fairly costly for us for crew. Ow. Jeez. But she's still with us, and that's the important thing, especially given how much conversation we've been having. And I think now I'll take that new recruit and engage a Zailor. Thank you. Yeah. We've reduced our terror by 1 and gained a new crew, because that hurt pretty badly, and if we're going out to war, we don't want to have missing crew. Let's talk to her about what just happened, though. Let's ask why we've been ambushed by assassins from her homeland, I think. I owe you an explanation, don't I? What I'm about to tell you is a deep secret. A college secret. But people have died. I owe you an explanation. Alright, tell me. None shall live 1,000 years. In the Presbyteriate, in the south, we're close to the mountain and far from the sun, so we could live forever were that permitted. It isn't. The law is, none shall live 1,000 years. My father made it to 1,011. She grins with shamefaced pride. Good for him, bad for his children. The law for me is, thou shalt not live 100 years. I'm out of time. That's why I left the Navy. The college will get to me. They always do in the end, and I can't keep letting other people die for me. She stands to go. Will you help me find a way to die well? In battle would do, or a duel. I don't want to be, oh, you know, just shot by a pirate, eaten by a shark. I want people to talk after I'm gone. She offers us her hand. I'm sorry. We've gained a secret, we've gained a pages, and she's asked us to help her die properly. Wonder if she has any opinion on how dying properly would go. No, she has nothing to say about that right now. Interesting. Well, I don't know what she wants right now, but we'll investigate and see if she can find some kind of adventure that's worthy of her desires. In the meantime, though, we have some things to do here in London again before we can set out. For one thing, we're going to need to hire some more crew, so we'll do that because we've lost a fair number. One more hiring should do it, though. There we go. Rich pickings. We acquired 3 more crew to make up for what we'd lost, so we're already back to full again. Easy. Easy come, easy go. We still have a vastly full cargo. I wouldn't mind buying a little bit more food to make up for the fact that we've just spent some, but I think buying some candles is probably wise, given the things that we plan to do out there, so we're going to acquire another 4 Foxfire candles, because, as you know full well, we've seen a couple opportunities to use candles out there in the distance, and we haven't had any, so now we should. With that behind us, though, I think it's just about time that we head out again. Just about time that we head out again. In our study, is there anything we can make in here? No. We don't have things, the ability to make things like these live specimens or monstrous almanacs, whispering trophy cases. We can't really make anything at the moment, which is unfortunate, because the benefits to our stats would be quite nice. Especially since it is an auxiliary item, and I don't think we actually have one of those right now. Oh no, we do. We have our We Are Clay. That's a good one. I'll hold on to that for now. I won't worry too much about the rest. Let's consider retirement, though. We're not going to do it, but let's see what the options are available to us. Well. That's not a whole lot of options. The victory is retire with our father's bones restored, which we can't do yet. Or we could just retire to an elegant townhouse, which we have. But that's not an ending. That's not an ending at all. If we've completed an ambition, this is unambiguously a win. Otherwise, perhaps call it a draw. We must be retiring to at least an elegant townhouse in any case. We have standards. Perhaps not, though. We haven't gotten a victory yet, and we're not going to just give up here. I think it's just about time that we set sail once again. I think we might this time, though, drop in at the Fathom King's hold, because we have a number of his requests with us now. We also have a number of things I don't think we want to give away, like our magnificent Memento Mori. If we can get a different, less magnificent weapon to give away, or an engine, or something else from one of our other crew, that might be a better offer for us. But the Memento Mori seems pretty outrageously good, and I don't see any interest in getting rid of it right now. Either way, I think we take our Icarus out to sea once again. But that'll be another time. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been Vanguard of Valor, playing a little bit of Sunless Sea for you. If you enjoyed the episode, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. I know this isn't the most popular series, but I still really like it, so we're playing it anyway, so there. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, bye-bye.